That was the opening match. Did you watch any of the women's match?
Did they have a women's match on there?
They did, with Stephanie Vaquer, who is incredibly talented, I have to say. She's really good. But
well, she was on the other show, too.
I didn't expect you to watch it, and I'm not surprised you didn't. There was a match with Psycho Clown. Did you see that?
No, because I watched the main event with the Chad Gable versus Vikingo.
Hijo del Vikingo.
I'm sorry, the son of Vikingo. And because again, I'm sorry if everybody's mad at me. Oh, you didn't sit down and watch this whole 3-hour show they did before the 3-hour show they did. But one has to have a fucking life. And I knew what I was going to be seeing with this one, except I will say this. Chad Gable needs a raise. Chad Gable needs a raise. Chad Gable needs another medal. Chad Gable needs to, have somebody come and massage him and feed him grapes every night. This guy can do everything. He has picked up, he's a better luchador than the luchadors. At least his shit, you kind of actually buy. It's not just fucking hokey, choreographed routine with him. I would love to see them do something with this guy, even if he had to have a partner that's bigger, that could be his enforcer or whatever. Drop the comedy, drop the fucking stupid mask. Don't put him in the ring with greenhorns from Acapulco and feature this fucking guy. He's one of the most incredible performers they've got. And if you concentrated on it and produced it well, he has a personality that you could use against main event talent. Not only his facials, but his promos and etc. And what is your personal fucking viewpoint of Vikingo? Oh, great one.
Well, I appreciate anyone who has taken on the stylings of Bow Wow Wow. That haircut. No, I think he's small, but he's talented. And I saw this in the past when he wrestled Kenny Omega in AEW. Suzanne actually stopped and started watching. He, because of what he was doing, caught her attention. Now, it seemed like some of the things today at this event took a little bit of time to set up and balance himself. Sometimes they seem maybe unnecessary. But again, you're going for pops. You're going for big spots to get big pops. I don't mind him. He seems very happy, very nice guy. He seems like the kind of guy you want to root for. I mean, if he only had a real name instead of, that's Vikingo. He doesn't seem anything like a Viking. I'll say that. They just had Viking warriors there.
I thought those Vikings rode those big horses and had the fucking armor and all the swords and shit. Here's the problem. Yeah, he's very athletically talented, and it takes a while to set some of that shit up, which is, again, why that there's a fucking gap between American wrestling and lucha, with the American fans going, well, just fucking move. But also, here's the problem. I'm not even talking about as a talent that can connect with people. I see the difference in Gable's small too, but that's not the problem. He's in great shape and he's an Olympic athlete. So, right, nevertheless. Fucking Vikingo's face, or his lack of face, and he's like a male lyric Valkyria or whatever. It just, she looks like she ought to be a clerk at a pet shop. The look on the face, he's not connecting with people. She doesn't connect. It's just, I'm doing these spots. I'm doing this performance. I'm in this routine. And every once in a while he'll smile, as you said, but I don't, he's not going to, if it's for a Spanish speaking audience, he's going to be able to talk to him. If it ain't, he's not. And I just see a guy with a bland fucking face. I don't see a personality. I don't see And also, like you said, the name, if he had somebody's actual name, that would help him in America, but it would hurt him in Mexico. Because the luchadors, most of them don't have a goddamn name. Well, I mean, all of them have, you know what I'm saying. You don't have Fred Smith is not their name. So it depends on what the audience is, what audience they're broadcasting for, what they're aiming for, but there's going to be some clash among some of these audiences on some of these televised events, much like I mentioned in AEW when they're doing the Grand Slam Mexico thing, and they got MJF and Mystico. And depend on if I was to have that match,
I want to see that.
I'd have two completely different matches for Mexico and for the United States. But if it's on their big show, they're just going to have one fucking match and everybody's going to see it. So there's going to be some issues with all of this stuff.
Well,
but I love Chad Gable. I love Chad Gable.
That was your match review? That's it?
Oh, that. Well, and again, Gable got beat again.
What'd you think of the apron spot? What'd you think of the apron spot?
I zoned out on a lot of this, to be honest with you.
Canadian Destroyer on the apron.
Oh, that's
off the rope, off the top rope.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid too. I mean, what are you going to say?
Well, that was
the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've got you've got a fucking guy that could be a real asset in Gable, could be a real asset to your television program, either Raw or SmackDown, where your primary audience is the United States. But yet this guy that, again, to the audience in Mexico, they love him. And if the match was just being seen in Mexico, I'd have him beat Gable and hang him up and fucking wear him out like a piñata. But it's being seen everywhere. And now you've got a personality on your show who's been beat by this little fucking mope-faced Mexican fellow to the American fans. It's a worlds collide, all right. And Gable has picked this style of work up better than, I can't believe how good, but at the same time, it just showed that every possible goddamn thing that he could do couldn't beat this fucking guy, and the guy beat him.
And again, it was a room that was really into it. So if you're watching it, you're watching someone you presume is a big star there because of the reactions beat Chad Gable. Yeah. You know, as good as Chad Gable is, it's not like Vikingo beat Seth Rollins. You know, it's not like he beat...
Well, no.
So,
but it's also Vikingo.
But he's the mega champion. That was the belt Omega had. Did he beat Kenny Omega for that belt, or how did that happen?
Boy, now that tickles me. Yeah, that's the point. The point is that the average American fan who is not of the, I want to watch a bunch of guys do the goddamn trapeze variety, would look at Vikingo and say, he's their fucking champion. The people who are attuned to whether it be the Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair era, or the Steve Austin and the Rock era, or the Triple H era, the John Cena era, or the era today of at least it's goddamn Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and they look at Vikingo and go, he's the guy? Then who's the flunkies?
Mr. Iguana. Should Mr. Iguana be the guy?
Mr. Iguana should be the guy.
Would you have a problem with Mr. Iguana going over Chad Gable on this card?
Oh, God damn it.
If that had been the first time you saw him, not in the opening match, but crawling to the ring for Chad Gable.
For Chad Gable? Well, I would have said, why don't we just piss in his mouth while he's down there? Poor Gable. Fuck. It's just, it's a hopeless cause.
One last question about all this. Does the WWE AAA relationship producing this event, which got a lot of attention, does that help AEW at all going into their CMLL? What do? They do not Worlds Collide. It is World's End. No, not World's End.
Grand Slam.
World's End. No, they have a World's End. They have a World's End. That's their end of the year show.
Well, yes, but not in Mexico.
No.
I don't think anything that the WWE is doing right now is helping AEW. I don't think anything AEW is doing right now is helping AEW. They're going to take over the world, and they're going to hold every major city hostage for rights fees, and they're going to be selling iguanas to your children.
And they're going to drop that city if another city pops up with a bigger rights fee.
Exactly.
Well, that was AEW. That was AAA, AAA, and WWE Worlds Collide. And Jim, perhaps if
Hey, let me ask you this. If the WWF lost a lawsuit to the World Wildlife Fund, then what's the Automobile Club, the American Automobile Club, doing about goddamn AAA?
Well, let's see how much further into America they go. Actually, that's a good question. I wonder if there are any trademark issues that are country restrictive, but we will find out in the future. Jim, perhaps you watched this pay-per-view event and being a fan of old school wrestling, it felt like a bad dream. And now you need a good dream, and maybe you need a little bit of help, a little bit of dream powder, and we know some good friends of ours that can help all the listeners with their dreams.
Well, now, our friends at Beam are back, ladies and gentlemen, and they make that fine dream powder, but the dream powder doesn't actually make you dream bright. It makes you sleep deeply. Now, you do sometimes dream when you sleep deeply, but this is not a dream inducer, but rather a sleep inducer to where you would have it's sort of like a weather report. Sleep with an option of dreaming. 40% chance of light nightmares with possibly a real screamer toward the end when the low front comes in. No, nevertheless, folks, Beam's Dream Powder has changed everything. It's changed the game, especially if you play games at night while you're asleep. You may be stressed. You're just thinking about all the things going on in the world. When you try to go to bed at night, your brain doesn't shut off. You're thinking about work. Maybe you and I, Brian, we're thinking about podcasts. You need something to help you wind down and not knock you out, but help you sleep and wake up feeling like a functioning human being. And that's where the Dream Powder comes in from our friends at Beam. As a matter of fact, we were doing this spot on the program we did a couple of days ago, and Stacy was listening to that program right as she was enjoying her nightly cup of Beam Dream Powder in her own special embossed glass Beam Dream Powder mug that she mixes it up in. Because, folks, this is an all-natural sleep blend with science-backed ingredients. And when you back science into a corner, they come out fighting. And they come out fighting with ingredients designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, not permanently. They're still working on that one. And you're going to wake up refreshed. Unlike the other sleep aids, there's no next day grogginess. Not like Brian when I flew across the pond to England and took 1 milligram of Xanax for every hour I was in the air and woke up the next day in the hotel going, where the fuck am I? No, I tell you, you're not. There's no next day grogginess
we can say no. That we could all agree on. No, that will not be happening to you.
No. There's no next day grogginess or even the day after grogginess. Just real deep sleep that helps you feel good in the morning. Well, Stacy, the next day, she woke up and she was talking to me cheerfully and asking me questions. And suddenly she looked at me and said, "Who are you? What do you do? Wait a minute. Whose house am I in?" But she'd had a real good night's sleep.
Well, no, you will have a normal good night's sleep without any of that. Just you'll wake up and be ready for the new day, or a new day, not the new day. Their promo last night was terrible. You'll be ready for a new day.
Yes, well, no,
new start, breakfast,
lunch and dinner. If you get the special package from Beam of the Dream Powder, the new day will actually come to your door and pour it for you.
They will not. There's no association that we know of, and we don't anticipate one with the new day, but you will have a new day every day when you wake up. Get ready for a fresh day, work, fun, kids, family, outdoors.
Oh, this stuff helps you have kids. Well, yeah, if you're sleeping deep enough.
No, what I'm saying is go to sleep. And no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is have a good night's sleep and then wake up And you can do it all over again, no problem.
Don't toss and turn is what you're saying. You can sleep through the night without tossing and turning, reeling and rocking until the break of dawn. You can wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day. Most people, they've done the survey. It's science-backed. Most people are not only ready to take on the day, they start out by kicking the day in the nuts. Every once in a while, somebody will try to grab a day's eyeballs and get a good jump on them. Boy, I'll tell you what, after Stacy takes hers, if I take mine, we can sneak up on that son of a bitchin' day.
I don't know.
One from the front and one from the back. Take him down and fuck him up.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, beyond the fun entertainment that comes out of the mind of a creative genius like Jim Cornette, think about a good night's sleep, and let's just focus on that and focus on only that, a good night's sleep from our friends at Beam.
Where do you think I get all these great creative ideas? 92% of users of the Beam Dream Powder reported better sleep and waking up refreshed, and the other 8% reported coming up with different podcast material, sort of like the psilocybin and the mushrooms. But nevertheless, Beam has improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep. And that wasn't just the one guy. We ought to check on him. He's been asleep for a while, but it's a lot of people. And right now, for a limited time only, Beam is giving my listeners their best offer yet, ladies and gentlemen. Their best offer yet. If you have no more questions, you're free to go. That's their best offer. No, 40% off. 40% off the best-selling Beam Dream Powder for a limited time only by going to Shop Beam. That's Shop BEAM, shopbeam.com/JCE. Use the code JCE at checkout. 40% off. I'm telling you, how in the world, Brian, you're getting up to 40% off on this thing. That's up to almost half. The next step would be 2/3, and pretty soon they're giving it to you for free. But that wouldn't happen because I don't know how they can afford to do this.
Get it today is what you're trying to say.
Get it today and go to sleep quickly. And you can, the best thing to do, I would say, is just
go to that promo code.
The best thing to do is just go to shopbeam.com/JCE and use that code JCE for up to 40% off on the Beam Dream Powder. And then just go to sleep and stay there until we call for you.
That's right. Enjoy the boogie woogie in your head with Dream Powder with our friends at Beam. Jim, one last time, that link and promo code.
That's the boogie woogie powder you'll get from Beam's Dream at shopbeam.com/JCE.